What's up, folks? I'm Brandon. That's Chris.
What's up?
We're Pizzas and Park Hops. Welcome to the episode tonight. We got a special one. They're special every week, but this one is going to be fun. It's going to be a series that's going to be kind of a loose series. It's going to be called Here, There, or Nowhere. And the premise of this episode is we are going to take a few things and that are in Disney parks, a few attractions, a few, restaurants, whatever we come up with, shows, whatever, and we're gonna put our Imagineering take on that. So we're either gonna, remove it from the park, we're gonna move it to a different park, or we're gonna keep it right where it sits and maybe improve upon it or something. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm good. There's an idea that I've had. We've done these did these in the past, but a little bit different format than what we're going to do tonight. So I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So we're going with Pizzas and Park Hops. Here we go. Here, there, or nowhere. We're going right now. All right, folks, welcome to the show. I just cannot express how much fun that we're going to be having with this show. Here, there, nowhere. Chris, what's your take? What's your take on this monumental show?
I love doing this. I love playing the Imagineers.
Me too.
I love changing things around and causing controversy and things like that. So
that's right.
Like I said, we've done these in the past, a little bit different format, but we're gonna change it up a little bit, kind of simplify it a little bit, and go from there. But before we start, what's been going on with you? Anything? I haven't talked to you in a few days.
Man, my daughter had a basketball game today, and that was interesting. It was her last school basketball game of the season. So,
for the school team,
yeah, they did not come out victorious, but she played against all of her friends,
nice,
who are on her feeder basketball team. So that's like the travel basketball team, and they got demolished. I mean, because there's only 3 of the like 20 girls that are on, Livy's team for her school versus the, other school who was stacked with like 9 players, so, that was, it was hard. Yeah, it was a different school, it's a little school rivalry, but they all took pictures together at the end. So that was kind of neat.
Nice.
I had some Lombardi's pizza on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, of course, man. Every time I have that pizza, it's amazing. Rachel was saying, the crust is what does it for her. And so it has that New York style crust and with the big giant slices and everything. So, we liked it. Of course, it had lots of meat.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah.
No, if you don't have a good dough, if you don't have a good crust, it ruins the whole pizza. There's a pizza place up near my brother's house that he loves and he swears by. But I hate the dough. I can't stand the dough. For me, it just ruins it. I don't think it's a good pizza. But on Sunday, I tried making a new recipe. For dough. Using the double zero flour, the really fine flour, and it came out okay. It didn't blow me away. I still like my original recipe better. But that's what I did Sunday. In preparation for the blizzard that we got up here in Boston and Eastern Mass. So
yeah, so I saw pictures of the band Breaking Benjamin. They're recording their new album there in New England, And the guy, the guitar player, he's like walking, he's like walking through snowdrift to get into the studio,
Yeah.
and it was really funny, you know, how he was walking because it was like the snow was like up to his knees, you know. So it's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
funny.
no. A lot of places like southeastern Mass and Providence, Rhode Island, they got like 38 inches of snow. Like
Yeah, it's
it's just
crazy.
crazy. Like I saw some pictures of some streets that the plows couldn't even go down. It's just crazy.
It's unreal.
We got about 12, 13 inches here, but the wind is what killed everything. So in parts of my driveway, I had 5 inches of snow, and then I had snow banks that were like over my waist. Because the wind was just so bad. It was just 40, 50 mile an hour winds all day on Monday, starting from Sunday night and Monday.
Yeah,
So it took me about 3 hours with a snowblower to get everything cleared out. But thank God that's over. So
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm hoping they're not,
That's
hoping I don't have to pull the snowblower out again this year. So
well,
I'm hoping
we
that
can
was it.
only hope, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think it'll be winter we got probably, we got some cold days left. But, March it really starts winding down for us and it turns
Right.
kind of to rain. We're gonna get a lot of rain, that kind of thing. But we're
Hmm.
gonna have 50s this week, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's nice. Yeah, it was supposed to have mid 40s by the weekend, so hopefully you got some melting to do.
Yep. I
So
will Yep, I will mention our friend Lindsay. Uh, she was grateful for the feedback on her new podcast called The Travel Journal. If you haven't subscribed to that, get on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find a podcast and subscribe to that thing. That was pretty cool. She's got a new episode coming out this week, I think, or maybe next week. And we want to promote our friends. We don't care how famous we are. We want our friends to be famous. So, shout out to her and what she's doing over there with her travel journal. With some trip style podcast, which I think will be pretty cool. So
yeah,
anyway,
the first
uh,
episode was great.
yeah, yeah, she did a
She
good
did a good
job.
job.
So anyway, getting to the show. All right.
Yep.
Here, there, or nowhere. Uh, First off, we're gonna kick off with Hollywood Studios, and there's a reason for that.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like we always start at Animal Kingdom when we do these things. I want to start with Hollywood this time, and because there's a lot going on over at Hollywood. I mean, if you don't know, if you're not tuned in to Disney, you know Hollywood's got a lot going on that's getting
It
ready to
does.
happen over there right
It
now.
does.
It's going to be turning into a better experience. I would say it like that.
I think it's going to be positive. I think it's going to be positive changes.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything that's coming out that I would do differently, or that looks bad, or that I kind of like I don't know. Maybe see everything that's coming out as it's especially now that Josh took over. I think that he's pushing things in the right direction, like we said last week, and it just came out that he's doing Monstropolis too.
Yeah.
That he's putting a lot of money into. So I'm excited for
I
all this stuff.
I think
I
it's
really
going to
am.
get uh and I've been saying this, so keep marking my words on this, but I think Monsters Inc. Land is going to get a second attraction. I think it's going to be a ride. Personally, hopefully, it's going to be a ride. That's never been said. It would be really cool to get another ride, but it'll definitely get a show or something.
If they do a second ride, I think they're going to have to do something with the spacing,
Yeah,
right? Because I think the way they have it mapped out right now with the with the coaster, I'm not sure
hmm
where they would have room to put a second ride. So they
they
definitely
could
have
do a
to,
B ride,
yeah.
or they get the theater. Put a ride in there.
I think they're already putting the show in there, though, right?
Yeah, they are going to put a show in there.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Two rides on the show.
Who knows?
Restaurant.
Yeah, they got that. They got that big warehouse in the middle too. So
yeah,
who knows?
I think they're going to expand the parking lot.
Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, because they have the space. They'll
have to get into the wetlands a little bit.
Figure out how to utilize it a little bit.
Yeah,
they can move some gators over.
That's right.
It's all good.
No gator left behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. Anyway, all right, here, there, and nowhere. Let's see here. We're gonna go with pick one ride, show, or attraction, and that you want to keep. Okay, and keep where it's at.
Keep where it's at.
Maybe improve upon it a little bit. Where it's at, where it's at its home.
Okay.
We'll deal with a refurb. If you want to talk about a refurb, we'll deal with a refurb. Okay. So what's your first pick?
Yeah, good. So I'm going Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
Perfect park. My opinion, it's my second favorite ride in all of Disney behind Guardians. I'm a huge Star Wars fan since I was a little kid, so everything about that ride I like. Would I like to see a little bit more of the original trilogy characters in there? Yes. But the way they did it, you got the 3 pre-show areas to get you in before you actually go, on the ride. It's a long ride. I think, what is it, beginning to end? It's like 21 minutes from the first pre-show till when you get off. So it's a nice long ride, and you see a little bit of everything. My favorite part of that whole thing is when you go into the hangar with all the stormtroopers there.
Oh,
I wish they gave you a little bit more time to spend in there. I feel like I'm always rushed, walking through there, because you try to take a look at everything and see the ships going by. So that's my favorite ride. I'm not touching it. I love the drop. I love everything about it. So I'm not moving that. Yeah.
Would you replace Kylo Ren with Darth Vader?
So that's what I was going to say. So yeah, I'd like to see original characters in there. Sure. You know what I mean? Especially they have the room with the AT-ATs in there. So that was, Empire Strikes Back, right? That's where you saw the AT-ATs. So yeah, would I like to see Darth Vader in there? Absolutely.
I'd like for them to fix it. Okay. When you're going through the gun, the gunship part where it's like, it's supposed to be shooting, and those giant guns used to move. I'd like to see him fix that. I'd like to see him fix that part. Get those moving again. There's a few things on there that I would change, but all in all, I love that ride. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's a great ride. Awesome. That's one that I'm always getting a lightning lane for.
We're in my Star Wars Episode 1 tonight. Roosevelt's.
You a Jar Jar fan?
Oh, dude, I love Jar Jar.
Do you?
Yeah, man.
That is the worst Star Wars character in the history.
He's the character you love to hate.
Oh my God.
I will purposely wear my Jar Jar Pop Roosevelt's in Star Wars land.
He is brutal.
I even, I'll wear that, and people will be like, I hate your guts, while I'm wearing that shirt, which is hilarious, so anyway.
All right. What do you have on your here?
Okay. So my here, Rock and Roller Coaster, we get rid of the Aerosmith because that's already happening. Right. But obviously we want to keep that where it's at. Right. And there's a reason why I say that. And the reason why I say we want to keep it where it's at, not only are they bringing, the re-theme with Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, but also that opens the area up. Once Villains goes to Magic Kingdom, that theater will be empty. Okay. And so once that happens, that theater, it's there. The Villains show is temporary there.
Even though they say it's not.
Hey, they say it's not, but right. I'm 100% that they're probably going to be moving.
100% moving that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes no sense for it to be there. But I think that they're going to reimagine Muppet Vision, and they're going to put in, use current 3D technology where you don't have to have on glasses to watch the show. Number one, I think it's like an advanced 2D that seems like 3D. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to update the scenes. I think they're going to make the scenes a little more fresh, a little, the characters a little more fresh, things like that. They're going to just freshen it up. It's going to get an overhaul. And it'll probably be called, maybe it's called Muppet Vision 2.0 or something like that, or 3.0 or whatever. Some crazy number that a Muppet would come up with. Muppets is hitting it out of the park right now. Disney's push on the Muppets right now is ginormous. If people aren't recognizing that, you've been in the dark, because it's ginormous right now. And I mean, they're from pins to merch to everything. They're
the new show on Disney Springs. Disney Springs shows, Disney Plus.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that they've got going on, and the whole Muppets factory is alive, man. It's going, and so
they're definitely reintroducing it. Absolutely.
I think when they started to close Muppet Vision, they saw the outpouring of love for that, that IP, and it's undeniable, worldwide, undeniable that, they got to keep it. So I think that's definitely its new home. So anyway, I'm keeping Rock and Roller Coaster, keeping that there with Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem.
Nice.
So the next one is one we want to relocate to another park. Right. What do you got, Chris?
All right. So I have a little multifaceted idea here.
Okay.
So hear me out. So I am moving the Indiana Jones stunt show. I am moving it to Animal Kingdom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reimagine. I'm going to be Josh right now. So Tropical Americas, I'm going to split that off. And I'm going to make, I don't know, I haven't come up with a name yet, but I'm going to make the Indiana Jones land, right? So I'm making, obviously, the new ride that's taking over the dinosaur, right? I am putting a brand new stunt show, okay? Because as good as the stunt show is, it's old, right? You've seen it. Everybody's seen it multiple times, unless you're one of the few people, going for the first time. Excuse me. But we've all seen it. The people go all the time. We know the show. And especially now, now that the boulder fell off, they got rid of the boulder. They made the explosion smaller. They got rid of the guy that, the plant that they put in the audience, and they make believe that he's a guest, but he's really a cast member and he takes part in the show. They got rid of all that. So they've altered it a lot, So reimagine the stunt show, put the stunt show in Indiana Jones land and back of, where Tropical America is going to be. And then the next one that I'm doing the bonus move, is that as another signature restaurant, I am moving Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar out of Disney Springs, and I'm putting that as another central restaurant in the Indiana Jones land. So that's my big move out of Hollywood.
Okay.
Would be the stunt show. What do you think?
So I'm all about that. Okay. And that was my choice. That
was your choice to move?
Exactly my choice to move it. But I got a different twist. Okay.
Okay. What do you got?
So we reimagined the Stunt Spectacular, and there's a space for it already. The space for it already is at the theater there where, the river comes across and you have all that seating. They don't have any shows right there. They don't have any shows.
Right.
We bring an Indiana Jones show in to that area.
You want an Indiana Jones kite show?
Not a kite show. We want a stunt show. We want fire. We want a plane actually coming in and landing.
Is there any part of an Indiana Jones movie where they did action on water?
Yes, there
Oh,
is.
they did
Yep.
on Last Crusade
That's correct.
in
Yep.
Italy. Yeah, so they could redo that.
They could redo that.
on
They
the
could
water.
have that. They could have that big ship propeller.
Yep.
Coming towards the guys.
Yep.
Busting up the boat. They could have I would like to see like a water plane land. Kind of like look like it's landing down into that that lagoon there. That that would be so super cool and sick, man. I mean that and you talk about a show that would fit in that area. I mean, you've got the ruins all across or all around there. You're talking about like Everest area, so you can really play that in to that India, Eurasia, area right there. So
and that's going to abut tropical Americas anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's right
because
in that area.
Yes, exactly. So you walk across, the top of the arena. I would call it the water arena, and you walk across that. And I'm sure it has a real name. I just don't know what it is, or can't remember at this time. But that arena, you walk across the top of it. And on the backside of that arena is right where you would enter, into what used to be Dino Land. So. I think it's a great spot for it.
Yeah.
And that would just pull all of that together. The land kind of spills out into that, that big amphitheater.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be really, really neat, and I think that Disney could really do a lot with it and not spend millions of dollars doing it. It's a waste that whole area is there with no show right now. And so I'm sure they're developing something. Maybe they got something in the works, but I think the Indiana Jones show would be really cool there. And then with that said, you wrap around the backside of Monstropolis into that area.
I got you. I'm looking up the name.
Backside.
I'm not ignoring it. I'm looking up the name of the theater, and I'm not seeing it.
You see where I'm coming from? It comes, you take out Backlot Express and that Indiana Jones area.
Yep.
And it allows you to have room for a second Monstropolis attraction. I mean, it's going to wrap around the backside of Star Tours, but nobody's going to notice. With enough foliage or whatever, nobody would notice. So
yeah,
just some food for thought.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea of the water stunt show for Indiana Jones, and that would be great for them to do something on Last Crusade. Something.
They run it 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah,
you don't have to be ran every hour. Run it
right
3-4 times a day.
Yep.
And I think people would be ecstatic.
Yep. And that would free up a lot of space at Hollywood if they were to ever do that.
Yeah.
For them to put something else.
Exactly.
Or
they put in a different IP. Maybe they take out that whole amphitheater and they put in Frozen Land. Arendelle. I mean, you already got the Frozen show right in front of it.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest here. That almost sounds appealing.
Yeah. I think we should email Josh.
Yeah, Josh he'll take our thoughts personal, I'm sure.
He will. I'm sure he will.
I'll get him on the cell phone.
All right.
I'll text him. All right. So, what attraction are we going to just axe, blow it up, get rid of it? It's gone. No more. And let me make a twist. What would you replace it with?
So, all right, so I have to think about that.
You would have to think about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have an answer, you do. If you don't, you don't. Okay. So go ahead.
All right. So I am getting rid of alien swirling saucers. Did I hit you? Did you? All right, so we can both combine on this one.
Yep.
So this is a carnival ride. I don't care. You can
Yep.
spin it all you want.
I agree.
Okay, this is a
100%.
ride you basically have at any local carnival that they have in the high school football field, trying to raise money for the cheerleaders or whatever the heck they're trying to do.
The summer social.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blow it up, get it out, and you want to replace it with something. Pick something else for Toy Story. Because obviously it's in Toy Story Land. But yeah, Alien Swirling Saucers needs to go. I cannot believe when they imagined that they came up with that ride. You know what I mean?
What a terrible ride. That was a off the shelf ride that they themed to Toy Story. That's all they did. They took an off the shelf ride. When you go to these manufacturers of these rides, and they're looking at the catalog and they're like, okay, we got a water coaster, we got a roller coaster here, we've got here's the cheap carnival rides, that are only $300,000. Let's do that, and versus the $2 million roller coaster over here on this page.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, that ride does not fit the theming even, really. It's cheap coaster, cheap carnival ride. What I think that they should do is highly theme some other kind of ride, or bring in, this is for another episode where we would be doing Here, There, and Nowhere, but bring Buzz Lightyear over there and put it in its spot. Okay. Yep. Buzz Lightyear belongs in Toy Story Land. It does not belong in Magic Kingdom. No. And so that needs to go over there. And if they don't want to move it, fine. They're refurbing it right now. They're getting ready to reopen it here in the spring. That's fine. But they need to do a hard thought in the future, maybe 5-10 years down the road, axing Swirling Saucers, putting something new, fresh there. Or come up with a whole new, inventive, highly themed ride that's as good as Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania.
Yeah, I would like to see them do that. As you were talking, I completely agree. Get Buzz Lightyear over to Toy Story Land where Alien Swirling Saucers, and while you're at it, move Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor to Monstropolis. Now 100%. you have that entire building.
Yep.
Right when you walk into Tomorrowland on the right hand side to do something, special. Do something. Well, I mean, now you got two buildings. Well, I mean, not, the one on the left, half of it, the other half is Cosmic Rays, but where Alien Encounter was. Now you got those two buildings that you can definitely do something with. You
could reimagine Tomorrowland.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a future episode.
Reinvent it. Yep.
Yeah. So that's man, that's pretty good. We, we're on the same wavelength here. But let's talk about one more topic that's not about Here, There, and Nowhere, but another area that is being refurbed in the Magic Kingdom, and that's that animation courtyard area.
Hollywood Studios.
Yep. Did I say Magic Kingdom?
You said Magic Kingdom.
I mean Hollywood Studios. That's that animation courtyard area.
Yep.
Okay. And they're giving that thing a whole new wipe facelift. It was the Star Wars launch bay, pre, and that was meant for pre-Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. Right?
It was cool. It was cool. Get your picture taken with.
It was a meet and greet. Okay. Yeah. But we got these characters meet and greeting where they belong now.
Right.
Okay. Over in Star Wars area. Okay. I think that they totally need to, they are. They're revamping the whole thing. They're getting rid of that Disney Junior dance party that was super lame. And they're putting in, new playground. They're putting in, a new indoor play area. They're putting in some animation style attractions and more meet and greets over there. So I had this pulled up, um, and this is from Disney Parks blog. So just giving a rundown. They're going to have, they're bringing back the sorcerer hat, which I think is going to be super cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So they're bringing that baby back, and then they're doing the studio lot that's going to come to life there, and it's going to have, the that whole building. That whole building is going to be like, with animation. It's going to have, it's going to deal with animation, right? And what's really cool about that is they're bringing uh, a animation experience. They're taking that out of the conservation station over at Animal Kingdom, bringing it over to Hollywood Studios, really where it belongs. Let's be honest here. But they're doing a revamp, and the revamp has been controversial. Okay, at best, people. I mean, this was just announced this week that well, I mean, people knew that this was going to happen, but they didn't know to what extent. Let's put it that way. And so they're going to have Olaf. It's going to be called Learn to Draw with Olaf, or Olaf Draws is going to be the experience, the name of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And people have lost their minds and not really thought about what that experience is going to be. Okay. So,
well, they're comparing it to the old, when it was, when there was actually a human teaching it and explaining it and right in front of you, and they would, get up and check. And so, but, with the new changes with the Olaf animatronic, I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah. So cool that's the first thing I want to bring up. Olaf animatronic.
Right.
How cool is that going to be? I think he's going to be pulling off his nose and drawing with it, or something crazy like that, But they brought in Josh Gad to voice Olaf, which, I mean, he's a heavy hitter already. He is Olaf, my daughter was saying in the car we were on our way to one of her basketball practices, and she goes, Dad, I think that attraction actually is going to be really cool. And she goes, but Josh Gad always says that he wishes that he used a different voice from Olaf, because when he's in the grocery store picking out a canned good or something, he's talking and this little kid's like staring at him like, are you Olaf? So he said,
that's funny.
Yeah. But I really think that's cool that they're doing, they're having it with Josh Gad. But what they're going to do is they're going to incorporate real Disney animators. Yes, it's going to be pre-recorded. I'm sure they're going to have attendants walking around kind of helping people. But this is mainly kid gear focused, okay? And, this isn't necessary. I mean, it's going to be kids and adults alike, yes. Mainly for children. That's the focus of the area. And I think that people don't realize that. I think that people are right now that's where they're kind of getting on the sidetrack, right? But anyway, they're going to have a guy, they're going to have Dan Abram. He's going to be doing Mickey Mouse. They're going to have Min Lee is going to be doing Minnie Mouse. They're going to have Austin Taylor with Donald Duck, Eric Goldberg with Genie, Samantha Viverett with Moana. They're going to have Fawn Varenstorn doing Stitch. They're going to have Trent Corey with Olaf. They're going to have Michael Woodside with Ursula. And then they're going to have Ben Howard doing Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. So I think that'll be really cool. Whether it's pre-recorded or not, I think that Disney's got this right. The Olaf animatronic is going to be super, super cool, I think. What do you think about that?
I think you hit it on the you kind of went off on everything.
Well, I was just trying to roll through it,
Yeah, no, the one thing I do disagree with you. I think it's going to be I think this is geared a little bit more towards adults. To be honest with you, I think they're
Oh,
bringing in
really?
the old, yeah, because I think I, I, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the way it used to be. Is that a lot of these drawings, they're not simple. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah.
They are kind of involved, especially, Mickey is a little bit different story. But when you start getting to like Genie and Moana and Stitch and all that, I think it's going to be a little bit more involved.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the instruction goes. So I think they are kind of gearing it towards adults a little bit, and they, hoping to bring in some kids, with the Olaf part of it. Um, but I think you're going to see mostly adults in here. To be honest with you,
Okay.
I think the kids will probably go in to try it. But I mean, the kids with the attention spans now. I don't know how long of an experience are they saying it's going to be, like what, 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah, probably
something
something
like
like
that.
that.
You know, so
So you think that it's the? I think that the target age is probably 8 to 13, 8 to 12, somewhere in there.
you think so?
Yeah, yeah, I really do. Um, yeah, as adults going to get a benefit out of it, I think you're right.
I think you're going to see a lot of adults go after it. My wife is psyched.
Yeah.
She loves doing that stuff. She loves drawing and stuff like that. So,
So
but yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good addition to the area. I love how they're revamping the whole area.
yeah,
You
they're
know,
going to have
it
the
needed it.
off the page area, which is going to be the part where
Hmm.
you can do the character meet and greets. But I think they're going to be a little more advanced than just your normal character meet and greet. They're going to be you're going into like a scene more than just here's Olaf over here, or here's Anna and Elsa over here in the corner. You know, you know, in this walkway,
Yeah.
it's going to be a little more involved. And I think that they're doing that. You're seeing that already, glimpses of that with the Mary Poppins characters that have been heavy in Hollywood studios lately. I think they're just trying to draw in some of these old characters, some of the new characters into the same workspace. And so I think that'll be really neat. Um, that off the page area is going to be cool, I think. Um, and so that area, that building is going to be called the Magic of Disney Animation. And so it's going to reflect the Burbank area, the Burbank studios and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Um, Also, they're having that studio grounds, that play area, and that's going to be Alice in Wonderland themed. Which we all know, the teacups don't do it for me. So Alice getting a little more representation in the parks is kind of cool. Um, I, I I'm interested to see what kind of how trippy they're going to kind of make it.
Yeah.
Some of the things, you know,
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know what they're doing with that.
yeah,
I didn't hear
it's
that.
just a kids play area,
Yeah.
but it's going to be Alice in Wonderland themed.
Yeah,
Um,
but going back to the instruction, I know people think it's going to be repetitious and things like that.
mhm,
I think you're talking. They're going to start out with those 9 different drawings they can do. I think it's going to be completely random. You don't know who you're going to get when you're walking in
mhm,
there. So I think you're going to have to do it quite a few times to get a repeat.
yep,
And again, it's going to be pre-recorded. So what? But over time, they're going to add to the 9.
right,
You know what I mean? I think this is just a starting point, and they're going to see how it goes. And then once it takes off, which I think it's going to, you think it's going to, I think they'll start adding to it. I mean, it, it's not much to add. You know what I mean? What are they doing? They're
no,
pre-recording one of their artists. They're taping their voices, taping what they're doing.
yeah,
Making, how many Disney characters are there? I mean, there's hundreds. You know what I
right,
mean? So it wouldn't take much to do, bump it up to 20 or 30 different main Disney characters. You know what I mean?
and they could, and with the pre-recording, it's not that they're firing anybody. They're not firing anybody.
Right.
They're not getting rid of
Yep.
an animator because they got the guy on screen right there. They got him recorded. And I think that another thing that they could do with this is make it seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have you got Anna Nelson a Christmas theme that you're drawing, or you got Mickey with a wreath, or something,
Yeah.
you know, you can incorporate Ducktales in there. There's a lot of cool things that you could do with all that.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of tropical Americas, over in Animal Kingdom, what would really be cool, they're doing Encanto, which is going to be, I think it's going to be amazing. I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. But also, with Indiana Jones there and everything, they could really pull into that adventure and put in some Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers kind of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
With that whole adventure theme feel to it. So we'll see.
We'll see
Anyway,
what happens.
that's my take.
Yeah. But I think Josh is making a lot of changes behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
A
dude.
lot.
They got rid of that. I guess the one lady's leaving now. I can't remember her name, but she's another one of the COO, or one of the higher ups. Yeah. She's leaving because of Josh, which is fine. I think her last name is Burbank, maybe. But anyway, she's cutting out.
Yeah.
Which is fine. He's going to shake things up.
Yeah.
I think this gives Disney an opportunity to wipe the slate clean of some of these people. Okay. You already seen the exit of Kathleen Kennedy. You've already seen the exit of, some other people that
Right.
have been around too long. Let's put it this way, and so we want some fresh faces, some fresh feels. And like I've said before, they're going to bring Josh back. They're bringing Josh in, and he's going to give a little bit of flavor of that Disney nostalgia and that people are looking for. And he's all about the park experience, and hopefully that really does carry through.
Yeah. He looks like he's gonna be very much like Eisner was.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
I think so.
I think he will be creative and imaginative in that regard.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna, even though he's been the face. Let's be honest. He's pretty much been the face of Disney since the late 20 teens.
Right.
I think he's going to now he's moved. People have seen him. People know who he is. People feel like they have a connection to him.
Yeah, well, he's been very vocal the past week or so on social media, saying, being critical without being critical of the way things were,
right,
or the direction that it was going.
Right.
With all the price increases and the nickel and dime a year on every direction. So
yeah,
he kind of called them out on it, which is good. That's why I'm optimistic about where things are going.
Me too. Yeah,
I'm excited for these next,
I think
5-6 years.
Disney, like you was saying, what was it? How much was it? A $4 billion.
Yeah. Last week they took out a note. I forget what bank, it was some federal bank or something, but they took a $4 billion note out, with repayment, over the course of the next 5 years, I think it was, something like that. So obviously, I think Josh knows exactly where that money's going. Going
100%.
right. It's going right into the expansions.
Yeah.
Into Villains Land, into Piston Peak, and the Monstropolis, and the Tropical Americas. I think it's going all into there.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, his rewrite of the Villains Land gives me hope. His maybe it looks like he's going to be adding to like we've been talking here, Monstropolis. I think that's gonna really it's really going to be good. So anyway, that wraps it up for this one. That was exciting. That was fun, man. And I like you said, putting on that Imagineers hat. Maybe it's more like an Indiana Jones hat for me.
Yeah.
But that the fedora, the Indiana Jones fedora. But anyway, I mean, we got something awesome on the horizon, folks. I'll let Chris take it away, but I'm excited about this one.
All right. So just give you a little teaser. Next week is March, and myself and Brandon are both big basketball fans. So
Yep.
we both love the March Madness, college tournaments, and everything like that. So what we're coming up with is a little March Madness Disney editions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have it's gonna be a 3-week series through the month of March, and that's all I'm gonna tell you for now.
I think it's going to be fun. Chris has been cooking this up for months. He's had that dough in the oven. It's rising. It's going to be awesome, guys.
It's risen.
And so it's going to be good.
Ready to put the toppings, the cheese, and the sauce, and stick it in the oven.
That's right, man. That's right. So anyway, I'm Brandon. That's Chris. We're Pizzas and Park Hops. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube and several places where the podcasts are if you just got audio. And so anyway, check us out on the interwebs. We're out there. We're hanging out. So anyway, I'm Brandon. That's Chris. Pizzas and Park Hops. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.